And good evening, everybody. It is Thursday night. We are here. We're live. We are streaming around the world. We are spanning the globe. My name is Mark Maggard. I am your host this evening. And I'm going to bring on our hosts. First of all, we're going to bring on the Cincinnati Bengal of Broadway, Mr. Andy Bolger. How are you?
Fine. How's everybody doing tonight?
And the toast of the coast from the great sunshine state of Florida, Mr. Richard Ward, a.k.a. the Warden.
Hey, everybody. How you doing tonight?
And back from a long vacation, the mouth of the South, Mr. Lane.
Gentlemen.
Hey, Lane.
Welcome back, Lane.
Wait, that should be hard. Well, you can still be the mouth of the South.
Okay.
And we're going to show the belt of the week in a minute, but we have a special guest that I promised, and I'm going to keep my promise, and I'm going to bring him on right now. This is a fellow collector who I happened to see a couple months ago, I guess, on a live, and he has a tremendous collection that we're going to talk about tonight. He also has an interesting side job, so we'll talk about that. I want to welcome to the show Mr. Pondwater Dave Miller. Welcome to the show.
Hey,
Thank you
how's
for
it
joining us.
going?
Hi, everybody.
Welcome, Dave.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on. And yes, the boys are back.
Yes, we are.
Yep.
Nor.
Or, how's it going?
We told Dave about him for the show. Mr. Gianni, the post-champion of the world.
Hey,
Drew.
Drew.
Welcome to the show. He double post. Okay. Chris Thermo, good to have you on.
Chris.
I know who this is.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. Okay.
I just see the comments now.
Yeah. So I gave my banner up. I'm all out of source today. Had a crazy week, but I did get a belt of the week video shot. I'm getting ready to show that as soon as I find it. Here it is. I showed a picture of this belt last week. This is a re-leather I did for a customer, Mr. Wade Dakota Robertson. He's very happy with this belt. He told me I can make a video of this, use it as belt of the week. So without further ado, here's the belt of the week. And this is the belt.
That is a sexy belt.
Very nice.
Gorgeous.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Cannot wait to do mine now. So just going to be on the Mark Laverty. I'm glad you're here. Just a second, Mark. I want to show you something. Pondwater Dave. That must be a friend of yours. I want to remind everybody that our show is sponsored by Mark Leather Championship Re-Leathering, which is yours truly, and by Unique Spirit Championship Belts. They make some beautiful belts, and check them out. Speaking of Unique Spirit and speaking of Mark Laverty, Mark, if you're watching, I should send him a picture of this. He ordered a custom set of plates from Unique Spirit. And anybody that knows Mark Laverty, most of you may not know him, but he is a poker player. He likes to play poker. So I want to show him his plates on the screen. So I'm going to do it real quick, then we'll get to Dave. This is his nickname, Ultimate Cuddles. He's an Ultimate Warrior fan. That's the main plate. Forgive the fingerprints. I've been taking these out of the package.
That came out nice.
Yeah, I'll show a couple of the side plates real quick, then we'll move on. It's a poker-themed belt. Okay. I think I got the diamond upside down, but
That is beautiful.
yeah. Anyway, Mark, those are your plates, and I'll be getting started on those probably in a couple of weeks.
Trust me, Mark, it's well worth the wait.
Yeah, it is well worth the wait. So let's talk about Dave now. He's our special guest. Oh, Mark Cyrus. That's who's called him.
Okay.
Moose.
Hi, Mark.
Mark, I'll get that from
Boosted
you.
on.
Mhm.
Boosted Don. That's right. We're going to have him on sometime too.
Tim,
Yes, they did. Okay, so Dave, you've been a collector for how many years in the hobby?
23.
A while.
I mean, whenever the first Figures Inc. belt, the first Figures Inc. NWA Dome Globe came out, that was my first belt.
Sweet.
But I got it, and then the WWF versions became available right before WrestleMania 17. I got mine. I've got the World Belt and the Intercontinental, and man, I thought they were the best. I couldn't believe how great they were, and I told my brother, I said, "Here, you can carry the Intercontinental belts. I'm gonna carry the World Belt." And we took it to Houston to the Astrodome, and we're walking around the fan fest with it, and access, whatever you want to call it, and they were just starting to advertise them. So we were, and there was a lot of buzz because we were walking around with those because nobody had them yet.
Yeah.
And then I paid $10 to take a picture with a ring used belt, and
Wow.
it was a Polaroid. It was they were raising money, but I can't remember what the charity was. And they handed me that belt, and I was like, and it was so heavy. So my bubble got popped really quick on how great those Figs Inc. belts were. Because then I held the real one, and I'm like, man, I can't believe how heavy this is. And they get up on the turnbuckle and hold them up like that. And
which belt was it, Mark? I mean, Dave. I'm sorry. Which belt was it?
Big Eagle.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
It was a Big Eagle. And it was really cool. And then I ordered a Texas light heavyweight from Reggie Parks. That was my first drill belt. And
I'm not familiar with that belt.
I ordered a J-Mar. He had the international championship. It was a cell belt. It was like $235. And he sold so many of them. It took me almost 5 years to get it. And
Wow.
and by the time I got it, I was so unimpressed with it because by then I'm probably, I don't know, 25, 30 belts in from, because I'd get a belt and then I turn around. And back then you could buy a belt for anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 and then turn around and sell it with no problem.
Yeah.
I think my first Winged Eagle was $800 and it was Reggie. It was it didn't say WWF on it. It said FWF. They had there wasn't any copyright violations. They had the alternate logos. Like my first WCW belt was WOW instead of WCW.
Yeah.
And we didn't mind because it looked close enough.
Yeah. Now you also have a Milliken Dome Globe, right?
I do.
I have a picture of it. We were just looking at it earlier.
I have it autographed. I let Ric Flair sign the front of it.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
I'd love to have his autograph.
He's the only one I've ever let sign the front of a belt.
Yeah.
On the back of it, I have Harley Race, Dan Severn, Christian, Shane Douglas, Ken Shamrock, Jack Stane, Jeff Jarrett, Colt Cabana. Any NW champion I've seen, I've got them to autograph it.
Nice.
I know I'm missing a few, but the fact that I have Harley Race on it is
Yeah.
Ric Flair and Harley Race on it.
You can't get a Harley Race autograph anymore. But you can still
Nope.
get
What
one
up,
Flair.
Jason?
Tommy Rich. I got Tommy Rich.
Sweet. Yeah.
Wow.
He held it for a very short time, but he was champion. So
And I plan on getting I'll let Cardona sign it. I'm gonna get Tim Storm to sign it. I just hadn't had the opportunity.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna referee a show up in Arkansas with him next month. And I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it with me and get him to sign it.
Yeah, get Aldous on there too.
I already have Aldous. I do have Aldous.
okay,
Oh, wow.
you're gonna run out of room on that strap. Yeah, we'll get to the referee in a little bit. Yeah, that's your interesting side job, or is it a side job?
It's a hobby that pays for gas.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe
I
on some shows.
Yeah.
But now, and not right now. It doesn't.
Yeah. Lane's got a dome globe too. He was trying to show it off for a second. That's a premiere.
Yeah,
The premiere with a story.
premiere with the story.
Lane.
Oh,
Yeah,
the story's great.
Yeah, I'll tell you about it later.
All right,
Tell you about it later. There's a video to go with the story. So
man. I'll tell you,
I
the
watched it the
premiere.
other day, man. That still got me to me.
yeah.
That premiere is a good version of it, and
It is.
the Fandu is without a doubt the best NWA replica that's ever been made.
It is nice. It's very nice. I'm more old school, but I had to have it. I wanted the authorized replica from every company that made an authorized replica. So
Definitely agree, Drew.
yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit later in the second hour. We'll get to that. When did you start watching wrestling? When did you become a wrestling fan? At what age?
I watched it when I was real little. My mom would show it to me. I was probably 4 or 5. My mom would show it to me and tell me how her grandfather used to take her to the matches. Ivan Putski was my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Ivan would come to the ring with toys. He'd have a toy like a duck on a string, and then the Blackjacks would come out and mess with him, and they'd break his toy, and he'd go nuts on them. And I loved Ivan Putski, and I got to meet him in 2016 at WrestleCon.
Wow.
My wife
Nice.
actually hit the record button for my whole interaction with him, because I was just telling him, and I told him what I just told you, but I remembered. And so I watched Saturday Night Wrestling then, and then I kind of got away from it and started watching Saturday Night Live. And then in 1982, I got home from work on a Saturday night. My little brother had it on, and I started teasing him. I said, "Hey, you know all that's fake, right?" And my mom told me to leave him alone. But this was in August of '82, and Ric Flair was on, and it was the night before he wrestled Kerry Von Erich 2 out of 3 falls at their Star Wars at Reunion Arena.
Yeah.
And Flair was out cutting a promo, and they said that they were going to do training matches, and Kerry drew Kevin for their workout match, and so Kevin's putting his hands up, and Kerry's drop kicking his hands, and they're just doing some training stuff, and Flair's out there. I want to say he had a woman with him.
Probably.
He might have had 1 or 2 women with him, but he was wearing a fur coat. He's wearing a fur coat and his bleach blonde hair. And he's really pushing a button on me now. Like, who is this guy? And he's telling Von Erich, you need to just bust your brother in the mouth so he'll know what it's like to be in there with the greatest in the world. And then later in the night, Flair drew Brian Adias. And my little brother explained to me that Brian Adias was Kerry's friend. They went to school together. And well, Flair was absolutely using him up. And it was and my little brother was into it. And I told him, I said, I tell you what I do. You clean my bedroom for me tomorrow morning, because I can't get out of the house on Sunday with my room not being clean.
Right.
I said, you clean that bedroom for me, and I'll take you to that tomorrow night. And I'm lying. I had no intention of taking her for the rest of the matches. But that room was spotless, better than it had ever been.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
And my mom said, you're going to take him. So we go down there and we get tickets, and we're on the very last row at the very top of Reunion Arena. And Harley Race versus King Kong Bundy was on the undercard.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know who they were. If you, really, the only wrestler I could have identified at that point was Wahoo, because we knew Wahoo. Wahoo used to come over to the house when I was a little kid, so I knew who Wahoo was. So as the night goes on, I'm getting more and more into it. David and Kevin versus Kabuki and the Dragon. As the night goes on, I'm really into it. And by the time the main event's over with Kerry and Flair, I had yelled so much that my throat is so raw that I'm coughing up blood.
Mm.
I yelled my throat out, and I was
Wow.
hooked. That was my first time. My second time, we went back at Christmas. We were there for Christmas Star Wars for the rematch, and that was
Oh, the
night
cage match.
And they slammed the cage on Kerry's head, and man, I was off to the races at that point.
Oh man, where were you sitting in that during that show?
For the
It was a
Christmas
Christmas
night,
show. Yeah, Christmas
lower
night.
lower bowl, probably halfway up. If you were, if the ring going back up the ramp was at 12 o'clock,
Yeah.
I was probably over at about 1 o'clock.
Okay.
We had much better seats for the second time we went.
Yeah.
And
So
then,
you had a bullseye version or a bird's eye view of the cage door then.
yeah, and it was disturbing.
Yeah.
And
Back
I
then,
mean,
back then that was not something you commonly saw.
I remember that. I remember David winning the 6-man title for the Freebirds earlier in the night.
Mhm.
And then I remember Bugsy McGraw. And my brother wanted to go over, and we went over like there's a guard. The rail came down where the tunnel was. And my brother was there, and there was such a surge that I had to put my hands on the bars and try to keep my brother from getting smushed.
Yeah.
Because Bugsy McGraw was so over.
Yeah.
And that's really what I remember about that night.
Wow.
So it was a great time to hype up being a wrestling fan. And then we were there, we didn't miss a big event from then on out until probably about 87.
So you grew up in the Dallas area then.
I did.
Okay. But you're not there anymore.
No, I live in Mississippi now.
Yeah.
I moved down here 12 years ago for work.
Okay.
And it was supposed to be a temporary. I was going to come down, stay for a year or so, and then go back. And then I fell in love with the area and met my wife, and
Good reason to stay.
I'm not coming, and I'm not going back.
Yeah.
I really like it here.
Been through there a couple of times on the way to the coast for vacation. So yes, it's beautiful.
It's a beautiful state.
Yeah.
But
It is.
what I remember is when I left Louisiana and came across the Mississippi River Bridge that first time. It's almost like somebody flipped a lens, and everything got green.
Oh yeah.
It was like, I mean, I saw the magnolia trees, and it was just beautiful. And
Yeah.
but I didn't plan on staying. But if you'd have told me that eventually I'd leave Texas and move to Mississippi, I would have laughed. I wouldn't have ever thought I would have left Texas, but I can't imagine going back now.
Yeah.
I mean, I still go. My kids are there, so we go pretty regular.
Okay. Yeah, that's where Lane's from, Louisiana.
Yeah.
Ah, what part?
Shreveport.
Okay. You're on
Had
the other side
occasionally
of the
go there
state.
back in November.
I'm just south of Vicksburg, so
I was born in Natchez.
okay. I love going to Natchez. I referee in Natchez. Pretty regular.
Sweet.
You familiar with Bayou Independent Wrestling? We run West Monroe.
Okay.
We do West Monroe, Fountain Hill, Arkansas, Brookhaven, Mississippi, Natchez, Mississippi. Sometimes we go to Saline, Louisiana. We're going to add Vicksburg. It's
Oh wow.
so it's really a really good quality. I mean, 6 quality matches with some up and comers and some established names, and just really quality show from top to bottom. I enjoy being a part of it.
That's awesome.
That's quite a territory you run there.
Sure is.
Now, Dave, you're sitting in your man cave, right? You got a man.
I
cave.
am. I do.
This man has the luxury of having a man cave. Now, I saw it in a video. He was on Ben Walker's live, I believe it was, a few months ago, showing it off, and it was, I mean, extremely impressive. But you've done some rearranging since then, so.
I mean, the walls are still the same, pretty much.
Right. Yeah.
It's just I moved the bar, I moved my desk, trying to open it up a little bit. I got rid of some action figures because they were taking up a lot of room.
I'm gonna put you on full screen for just a second so people can see just that corner of your man cave
just
there.
You gotta
Just
make
by-
room for belts.
right behind me there, that's the Charlotte Flair wall. which I have,
Okay, yeah.
which I have
You have
every
a-
belt.
You have a section for every promotion and things like that.
Yeah, like I said, there's Charlotte's Wall behind me. Over here, I've got WWE, and like there's my Stone
Wow.
Cold. I got a Stone Cold shelf up here.
There you go.
I've got an AWA belt.
Oh, yes, you do. I see that. The
Now
NBA.
behind them, what I did is I took screenshots off the network, and I made I had them printed in 16 by 20s so I got like behind my $1 million belts, I got Ted DiBiase, Brother Love, and Virgil. Behind the U.S. spinner, I got Cena.
That's a good idea. Wow.
Yeah.
I've got a New Day shelf with a box of Bootios, a screenshot where the big Bootio box from WrestleMania. I got their pops and their action figures. Unfortunately, I don't have room to include this.
Oh man.
Oh,
I found this at WrestleCon.
oh, beautiful.
Brandon Young had it at his booth,
Very rare belt.
and I told my wife, I said, we got to get that because I tried to buy it today. It went on sale and they sold out. There's only 483 of them made
hmm
for their 483-day reign. And what I was saying earlier about my wife being a collector and being appreciating the hobby and wanting all this memorabilia too. She didn't disagree with me, so it was an easy purchase. There was no bad cop around.
Hey, when the wife's on the team, it's always good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You don't have to sit there and lie and say, "Well, I won it in raffle."
I would never lie and say that I won anything.
What are you
in a
talking
raffle.
about? I would never say that.
Yeah,
Never,
never, ever, ever,
never.
ever.
No, never would.
The old Jericho thing.
So then, as we come around, I've got a big green over here. On this top shelf up here, I've got my gimmick when I was a wrestling manager, Dr. Philip D. Payne. Phil DePayne.
Oh, clever.
I was the chief of staff, and I've got a replica of the tag belts that my tag team, the Medics, we won the championships, and so I got a replica of that belt. I've got my wrestling boots and my tights because I had them, but I've been involved in 3 matches, two rumbles, and a dark match. And I haven't won. I've never won one. I've got my Super Dave belt. I've got my referee shirt. I've got my NWA referee shirt up there. Then I've got every United States title, starting with the cast Mid-Atlantic version, all the way through to today. I've got my NWA belts over here, the national, the tag, the Mid-Atlantic, which the Mid-Atlantic was the belt that made me a belt mark.
Look who joined us.
My fellow
up,
referee.
everybody?
Hey, Jimmy.
How you doing, Jim?
Hey,
Oh, I'm good.
Man. What's up?
We thought he had the night off.
Yeah.
But
I just got through working my matches. I'm actually done for the evening.
Nice.
Oh wow.
So I saw you guys went live, and I thought, hey, I'll drop in from remote. I'm on remote.
There
you
you
go.
He's on location.
Yeah.
Remote location and
On the scene, on the story.
for Appalachian Championship Wrestling.
Hey Dave, I got a question.
Sure.
sure.
Your favorite belt out of your collection, if you had to pick one, which one would it be? Out of all your belts.
Out of so wait. My favorite one specific.
No, I'm talking to Dave.
Well, let Jim
just,
say
like,
his.
the favorite one that I own. It's got to be my Bud Pack Dome Globe.
Okay.
As much as I love the Premier, because it's the classic design. My Bud Pack is the what we call the Aldous belt, which is kind of the Leather Rebels version of the 10 pounds of gold, the one that Aldous carried, and Cody, and Tim Storm. That's the one that one. See, you're putting me on the spot because
What's up, Big Ben?
the 10
Ben.
pounds of gold is my
Ben.
favorite belt. Obviously, you guys know this. This is no secret. But man, I really like my my winged eagle too. I have a soft spot for my winged eagle too. I really like it a lot. My Smoky Mountain as well. Even though it's way too big, the main plate is excessively large. But it's got to be my Bud Pack Dome Globe, just because it looks like the Leather Rebels version of the 10 pounds of gold, and they knocked it out of the park. What's
How
yours?
about you, Dave?
What's up, Eric? Hey, Dave. Yeah, like I said, what would be your number one out of your collection if you had to pick a belt?
The belt that is never leaving. There's no amount of money that I would not sell this belt. That my favorite is the NWA World Belt. It's my Milliken. It's my sentimental favorite. But this one here.
Wow.
Oh, the United National.
And if you're a world class fan, we called it the All Asian.
Yep, all Asian. Yeah,
Oh, now
that is
that's
nice.
that's the United National, is it not?
But
it is
yeah,
now. Well,
You're right.
I went
Wow.
with the David Von Erich nameplate.
of course.
David Von Erich won this belt the Friday night before he died. 1 week
Yes.
before he died.
He was supposed to take it back to Japan. That's
Right.
what the purpose of the Japan trip.
It was a
nice.
unannounced match. I just happened to be there that night. The state athletic commissioner shopped in our grocery store, and he got me in that night. So I got to go in the back. I didn't get to walk around the back, but I remember when David Von Erich came in and he shook my hand. I went on into the dressing room, but they announced it that the NWA had ordered that Michael Hayes defend this title against David Von Erich, and David Von Erich won the match with the claw.
Wow.
And this one I got from Classic Shields.
It's a beautiful belt, man.
And for that reason, it's kind of my sentimental favorite. But I love.
Yeah, I gotta get one of those.
Yep. Now you got me wanting one.
Yeah, I always kind of wanted it, but I'm gonna have to sell a belt to get that one.
I want that one in the Bruno melt.
Ooh,
Yeah.
look at that.
And then I got
That
this
is
one
nice.
from Muhammad Asif. This is the tag team version. I have just the regular Texas version that I got from I bought it on eBay. Came out from a guy in England, and it's good. It's really good. But
Yeah,
Asif does a much better version of it.
Nice.
Beautiful.
I've got
So-
one that Mateen made.
I had one. I sold it. I mean, we used a 3D printer to make the casts. And I worked real close with Dustin on trying to get the art right for that one.
Yeah.
And it's good for what it is.
Yeah.
There wasn't a whole lot to go on.
I had
You
to pick
also
one
you
out
also
of
have
my
a piece of memorabilia from David Von Erich, and I've got a picture of it as I find it.
This would be known as my prized possession.
Nice.
Wow.
David was my favorite of the Von Erichs.
Mine too.
He was good. He was good. He was the best on the mic.
Definitely.
That is
And
nice.
those are reworn tights.
Yes, they are.
That's right. Oh wow.
Those were first worn, and the first time I could find any of them on television, that was Christmas night, 1982. He wore them when he won the belts, the 6-man belts for the Freebirds.
Nice.
And then the last time that he wore them was Labor Day when he won the Texas title from Jimmy Garvin. But he wore them in a handcuff match against Gordy on the same show where Gordy hit that fan and knocked him back about 3 rows.
Yeah, the drunk fan.
Yeah, that was at Fair Park Coliseum.
Yeah.
He wore them, but he wore them all through 1983. And but Jimmy Garvin would get something from the people that he had feuds with. He got a headdress from Wahoo. He got David's tie. I got a David Von Erich T-shirt. I don't even remember WCW World Class selling a David Von Erich T-shirt.
Mm-mm.
I don't even
But I've got it. because it's a 3/4 sleeve and it says David on one sleeve and Von Erich on the other. And instead of World WCCW, it says WCW. And it's got like a tiger on it. I don't know what the thinking was, but it's a pretty cool shirt. I got it hanging over there. He also gave me I also got a ladder from him. They used to do Zippo ladders as part of the if you had the lucky number at a program, when you buy a program from the Sportatorium, it had a lucky number on it.
Yeah.
And if you were an adult, baby, will you hand me that? My wife just came in. If you got the lucky number and you were an adult, you'd get a Zippo ladder that said "Taken by Force" from Fritz Von Erich, or it would say "Taken by Force" from the Von Erichs.
Yeah.
But Jimmy Garvin and Fritz would keep these. He had a lot of them because he would give them to people. And Jimmy Garvin said after Fritz lit a cigarette, he gave it to him. So Jimmy said that this one was actually one that Fritz used and gave to him. So I found a little thing that it's a little magnet thing I got off of Amazon to display Zippo ladders. So
Wow, that's nice.
and then she brought the shirt over.
Wow.
I don't remember that shirt.
I don't either.
The first piece of merchandise I ever bought that I could wear was a Bad Street USA shirt.
I remember
It
those
was-
shirts. Yeah.
It was much later when I got a World Class shirt. Thank you, babe.
I've got speaking of Bad Street, I've got the original 45 record of the Bad Street song.
Oh wow.
I gotta
Nice.
find it. I got a record case. I gotta find it. It's in the closet.
I had the album.
Oh yeah.
I want to say I had the 45 too, but I know I had
I
the
got the
album
45, but I
Because-
don't
because
remember
I-
what's on the B side.
because I enjoyed. I think The Boys Are Back in Town was B-side, wasn't it?
I don't remember. I never played that side.
I know I like it.
I
He
didn't.
you played the Backstreet song over and over and over.
Yeah.
I've got the digital version on my iTunes.
Yeah.
But
And I thought that was a gimmick thing, but I guess Michael Hayes actually had a music career for a little bit.
that was a real band.
Yeah.
And
That's
That was pretty cool.
and I got WrestleMania weekend. I was inducted into the Southern Wrestling Hall of Fame in Fort
I was
Worth,
telling Lane
Texas.
about that.
And
Yeah, you were talking.
and Dan Bynum that was the director of that video got inducted also.
Oh, nice.
And so it was neat getting to meet him, and he does so much. He's still working with MLW now, but he worked with WCW, and he's been involved in wrestling, and to be included with him was kind of a thrill because they showed the Bad Street video at the induction, and
Oh, yeah.
I'd never get tired of watching that.
Now, the Southern Hall of Fame, that's Dave Fuller's Hall of Fame, isn't it?
It is.
Okay. Yeah, Dave Fuller. By the way, I don't know if he's watching or not. He may not be, but I'm trying to get him on the show. But he went in the hospital recently, so we
Yeah,
wanna wish
let's
him the
keep
best.
thoughts and prayers to him because he's had a rough go.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, he's done a lot for wrestling in Dallas.
Yeah, I have a friend of mine too. I want to keep him in my prayers too. If he's watching, Brandon just found out he was diagnosed with colon cancer. Went in for
Oh, no.
a
wow.
checkup. Yeah.
Oh man,
So my prayers and thoughts are with him and his family at this time.
But I saw a post where
Definitely.
you had been inducted into that Hall of Fame, Southern Hall of Fame. So congratulations on that, by the way.
thank you. I met Fuller. I think it was on MySpace. I don't even think it was on Facebook.
It's been a
He
while
was-
back.
He was looking
Go
for a
way
ring.
back.
He was looking for a ring announcer. He was doing shows at this Mexican Bazaar on Garland Road in Dallas, and I messaged him because I thought I'd like to try that. I've been refereeing for a couple years now. I told him, I said, I've never done it, but I'd love to give it a shot. He said, come on down, we'll try it. So I think this was 2009. I think the iPhone had just come out. There's reasons that I remember this so well.
My
I'm going to be
goodness.
cool. I'm not going to stand in the ring with cards with everything on it. He
Right.
sent me the format, which I still have in my Yahoo email in the important folder. But I've
Yeah.
got the format, and I've got it on my iPhone, and I'm going to stand in the ring, and I'm going to use my iPhone because I'm the cool kid with the iPhone now. And
Yeah.
Mike Page, good friend of mine. It was actually one of the medics too. Mike Page is what got me into wrestling. Got me inside. I went to train to wrestle and ended up becoming a referee. But anyway, Page is the reason, and he's in the crowd. And every time I start looking at it, he calls my phone. I mean,
In this corner, you have a call.
and I'm like, I could silence it, but I couldn't. I didn't know about airplane mode, and
Yeah.
so that was. But I
That's
was.
great.
But all I can say about my announcing career is that I was a very good referee.
I'd like to be an
fun.
announcer or a manager or something like that. But
The managing was the most fun I've ever had in my entire life. That lasted for about 9 months.
well, you get the best seat in the house. You get to get involved.
Oh yeah,
Best of both worlds.
and being a heel and just talking so much trash.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We were at a show.
Walk out of the building with an armed guard.
We were at a show, and my daughter. We needed a nurse, so we got my daughter, and we named her Ophelia. So Ophelia Payne. So we're at ringside, and we're at an elementary school, and the crowd's hot. This fundraiser, so it's a really good crowd. And the spot is that they're gonna feed the good guy through they're gonna feed him, and she's gonna slap him while the other guy's got the referee pulled, and she does this little baby arm, just barely gets him, and it looked bad. I mean, really bad. So I shoved her and I yelled, "That's not how you do it. This is how you do it." And I slapped the piss out of him. We talked about it. We talked about it in Dallas over WrestleMania weekend. He told me, he said, "Yeah, I was mad. I was about to beat your ass, but I calmed down before I could get to you." But I slapped him. But the people behind us, I mean, there's a woman that they got mad because I dressed my daughter down that way.
Yeah.
So now she's in my ear and just give me a hard time. And I turn around and I said, "Look, lady, I don't go to your job and interrupt you while you're yelling scattered, smothered, covered, and chunked. So sit down and shut up and leave me alone while I'm doing my job." Oh, I had them going. So we do the whole finish, and I'm up in the ring, and I'll jump up and I'll throw my stethoscope around her throat, and I'm holding on his back and I'm choking him with a stethoscope. And they back me up into the corner, and then I crumple and I fall and I'm laying on the apron, and all the other stuff goes on, and we screw them and we win. And my daughter shakes me. She said, we won. So I roll in the ring and I'm jumping up and down. Yeah, we won. And I'm looking down and my guys are on the floor. And I back into one of the guys that we just screwed. And I just dropped my head. It was Christopher. I don't know if you're familiar with Christopher Hayden and Karrion Arcane. They wrestled as Genesis. So I turn around. Hayden gives me a boot to the gut, grabs my arm, slings me into the corner. I hit the corner. I stagger out. He hits me with a clothesline from hell. Ass over tea kettle, and I'm out. And the crowd goes wild. And I'm laying there trying not to smile because I'm eating this up so much. So anyway, they drag me out and they carry me to the back. And one of the promoters on the show was Skandar Akbar. And he gave me a compliment, said I did a real good job. And boy, my head went whoosh.
I'll bet it did.
So
that's the ultimate compliment right there.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
being a manager was, I wish I could do it again. I don't know why I haven't ever really tried real hard to do it on a local level here in Mississippi, but
You're never too old to do it.
No.
but maybe I can talk them into making me a heel ref, and then I'll transition into a manager.
Well, if Freddie
There you
Blassie could
go.
do it at his age, you could do it. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's right.
definitely.
They're so for me.
Of course, some of these crowds are crazy though.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a different kind of crowd than it used to be back then.
Man, we did a show down in Houma, Louisiana. So when it was a title match with Christian Blake, one of the Overboys, Christian Blake, and he was wrestling. Man, can't remember who the other guy was now. But the finish was that Christian won the championship, but they were all in the ropes. I mean, it was obvious they were in the ropes. So I run out and I'm telling the referee what happened. You know, this was in the ropes, and I'm being real adamant, and I'm putting my foot in the ropes. And so anyway, they take the title back from Christian Blake, and then the bad guy ends up winning real quick and handful of tights or whatever. But the crowd was livid, like really bad. This woman came up and she said, "I don't know where they got your old ass. They need to send you back. I hope you effing die."
Oh, man.
Oh boy.
And it was bad. Now, sometimes I don't know if sometimes when your wife tells you don't need something, it just rubs you wrong. So you go out of your way to do something.
Yeah.
I was told I didn't need a personalized license plate. So I couldn't get the ones that I was trying to get. So I just had them get, and I ended up getting NWA ref on my license plate. I tell you that to tell you this. I tell my wife she's taking pictures because she's a photographer. So wherever I referee, she'll take pictures for the boys. And I told her, I said, I need you to go out and get my truck and pull it to the back door because I'm not going out in that parking lot.
Yeah.
And the truck has NWA ref on it.
Yeah. Real stealthy there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what made me get rid of that license plate?
What's that?
I had a friend that's a marshal in Delta, Louisiana. And he called me. He said, "Hey, Dave, funniest thing. There was a truck that just came blowing through here about 85 miles an hour with license plates NWA ref. You want to slow down?"
Oh, wow.
So I didn't renew the personalized plates after that.
Oh, man. Let me.
That's why I don't put decals on my car at all. And identified.
The favorite piece of
Yeah.
oh,
Okay. You already
Johnny,
read the question.
yeah, I just saw it pop up. The David Von Erich trunks are my favorite piece of memorabilia,
And it's
it's
awesome. Oh, go ahead. Sorry. I didn't mean
and it's not even close.
Yeah, I got a question for Dave.
Sure.
Dave, I've seen you've had robes made, like Ric Flair robes.
That's what I was going to get to. Yeah.
I didn't have those made.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood. I'm sorry.
I've got a red one that was we got it at Toys R Us. It's like a costume robe. My wife started putting rhinestones on it.
Okay. See, I misunderstood too. I thought your wife made the robe.
Yeah,
No, she's gluing rhinestones. She started. I mean, she's been working on it for 3.5 years. So I don't know if I'm gonna live long enough to see the whole thing done. I asked her if she'd do Ric Flair on the back next. Just to get that shiny.
Oh, it looked really nice.
Oh, it is
I thought
beautiful.
it was a real
And
thing.
I mean, it's painstaking that she sits there and she takes a pair of tweezers and she dips that rhinestone in the glue and the epoxy and places it each one.
Oh yeah.
I would not have the patience. She's
up,
incredible.
Wow.
Has
But-
she not heard of a bedazzler?
Well, she's doing it just like she used to do her daughter's pageant dresses when she was a baby.
Yeah. That's the best way
I
to
mean-
do it, I think.
And
That's
then
some
my other robe,
painstaking work there, right
Yeah.
there.
Exactly.
and then that other robe I have is a replica of the retirement robe,
Oh, okay.
and it came with WWE came out with this Ultimate Ric Flair belt, legacy
Yeah.
belt.
Yeah, it was a one-time deal, right?
and they put it on sale, and then the next day they terminated Rick's contract. That's when they fell out.
That's when the helicopter thing came on, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Well, it was something else.
actually, this was right ahead of it. Rick wanted to leave WWE. He was mad. So it was right ahead of the helicopter deal. That's not why he left. But they pulled him off for sale, and I managed to get one out of the first batch.
Nice.
Here's the
Now I remember that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that from
Yeah.
Toys R Us.
yeah, and I mean, as you can see, there's his name,
Yeah.
and it's just like but then you can see where she's blinged it out.
That's a whole lot better. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
That's
she even went
pretty.
down here and she even added stones to the fringe on the cuff.
Man,
Wow.
So
great.
I mean, and it's really added a lot of weight to it.
I
And
bet
I've been lucky enough to wear the real ones. But back to that retirement robe. That retirement robe weighs about 8 pounds. It's incredible. It's an incredible replica of it, and that's why I bought the thing. Was because I didn't think the belt was all that pretty.
Yeah, I agree.
But
The belt is nice.
once you get the belt,
It
and
grows
look
on you.
at- well, I mean, just looking at the detail.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That
I
is-
don't know if I can get that. If I can get that tip,
Oh,
that's
that's just pretty. That's nice.
Yeah, that RF is nice.
and then the back of it says "Wheeling, dealing, son of a gun, limousine riding,
Oh wow.
kiss stealing."
Oh wow.
And then over here to be the man, you got to beat the man. So, and this belt is heavy. I mean,
Looks
the
it.
whole, and it came in this box that's shaped like a diamond. This wood crate, acrylic, it looks like a diamond, and I display it in it. And that thing, don't try to pick that up. But the whole package weighed 55 pounds.
Wow.
Man,
Wow.
I mean, when I got home from work and that was on the porch, and I was like, man,
yeah.
what about? And but they're available now.
Yeah, I think they're selling it at one of the cons they have.
Yeah, what's it? Starcast.
Yeah, Starcast.
Starcast.com. Conrad convinced WWE to release them to him. So, and and they're priced at $1,000 that WWE had them priced at $999.99, and it's well worth it. I mean, it's an incredible collectible. They've seen
John
it.
is curious about your screen name there.
Well, my good friend Conrad Thompson was doing a podcast with Tony Schiavone, and my nickname's always been Super Dave. And at that point, he said, and COVID had just started up, and he told him, he said, "Hey Tony, Super Dave doesn't think he can catch COVID. Thinks he's immune to it." And Tony said, "Why is that?" He goes, "Because he drinks palm water and eats hot Cheetos."
Ah,
Well, I got a pond. I mean, I've got a nice piece of land that I bought, and I'm really proud of my pond. I take a lot of pictures of my pond. So Conrad just took that. He's always sees my pond. I work for Frito-Lay, and he knows that he always asks me, "What's your number one product?" It's Flamin' Hot Cheetos. So that's why he came up with it. And sometimes Conrad will say something, and you can fight it, and it gets worse.
yeah.
Well, I decided to lean into it because we were doing at the time it was called the Think Tank, and then it became the Sad News Bears, a podcast on ad-free shows. It's just our group chat, and I always felt like Super Dave is a trademarked character, and I mean it's always been my nickname because I have a little Superman tattoo on my arm. I got shot in 1993, and 1994, I got shot, and the doctors and nurses started calling me Super Dave because I had that on there and I got shot in the head and lived. So, but I leaned into the palm water for the podcast, and that's where Palm Water Dave came from.
Oh, okay.
But I don't
Yeah.
drink palm water.
Yeah, you do.
I do not, but I do eat a lot of flaming hot Cheetos.
You drink the
We,
palm water too. Don't lie.
Yeah, we have another special guest dropped in. So you want to
How you
say
doing?
Russ?
What's up,
Hey,
Super
Rod.
Dave? Hey, everybody.
Hey, Russ.
welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Mr.
Thank you.
AKA $32 drink.
I felt special till y'all let him in. Y'all let anybody in here.
yeah, we will.
The $32
Except
drink
for
thing,
Gianni.
you know,
Except for Gianni.
That's a nod to Super Dave.
That's not my phone.
I don't know.
It's a blue alert. Officer
okay.
down.
Oh,
I've never seen-
no.
Uh oh.
I've never seen a blue alert before.
I hadn't either.
The $32 drink thing was when Dave met me in New
New
Orleans.
Orleans.
Okay.
Yeah, I said, hey, you want a Crown and Coke? I go, yeah, 2 doubles. And they were like this big. I mean, little.
Like a drink that you got in elementary school.
Hands them to me, and I go, here you go, Dave. And the guy goes, that'll be $32. And I go, what?
Oh.
He's laughing. Dave's laughing at me. He goes, I can't let you do that. I go, hell, we never do this. Why not?
It's funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
Russ knew you're coming on. He wanted to join the show and say hello to you.
Well, I'm glad he did.
Yeah, I just wanted to say hey to everybody and get to talk to Dave a little bit here and say thanks to Mark. I just bought the Texas Championship from him.
Yeah, I'll try to get that shipped tomorrow.
Nice.
Never, no rush.
I'll box it up tonight.
I am surprised that Texas belt lasted as long as it did.
I am too.
I know.
Me too.
I was stunned.
Every
That's why
time I say I want something, somebody buys it.
Yeah.
I think it's made by Muhammad Seif. So.
Yeah, I love him. He's a good guy. I just ordered a belt from him yesterday. Yeah, because we're going to be in Charlotte doing the gathering, and I ordered the Dory belt, the Dory NWA title.
Oh, I want that one.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm gonna get that from him, and he told me I would have it before August 1st, and I leave the 3rd. So I just found out AEW is coming here to Columbus, Ohio, August 3rd.
Oh, nice.
That night. I leave for Charlotte that morning, so I don't even get to go.
Oh,
Yeah, it's about time, Ralph.
I watched that. I was waiting to see if anybody would buy it. I'm like, okay. And then 2 weeks ago, when I said to Mark, hey, I'd like to get that. Hang on to it for me. And I waited. I was truly like, I'm looking at other stuff, and nobody bought it. And Mark said, okay, so I paid him earlier, and I'm like, all right, I'm getting it.
Yeah, he was delayed a week because he had COVID.
Oh wow.
That was not fun.
No.
Nope.
No. And I'm
I'm getting ready to pull the trigger on the Stampede belt myself.
The North American.
It's
the
like
regular,
North American.
yeah.
Like yours,
Everybody's
not as
on
big.
that
Like
North
yours,
American.
yeah.
Yeah, everybody's on that North American style belt. So
Yeah, the Stampede one I got is great. I got it from Jagu Jan. It's really nice, but it's way too big, but it's beautiful.
I want that belt.
It's really nice. He did great. And I showed Super Dave today, or Pond Water Dave, the new world title Jagu's making me. When I get it, I'll come on and show you guys.
I mean, I'm ready to pull the trigger on that one. I want that one.
It's a sweet one.
I don't know who the question is for. Probably for Dave, I'm guessing. What's your favorite finisher move and finisher submission?
Well, if it was still a finish, I'd say the DDT.
yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
I always liked the DDT, and as far as a submission,
That's a tough one.
I mean, even back when Chris Adams, started, the super kick had been around, but I mean, you'd never seen somebody just kick the crap out of somebody's chops.
Oh
Yeah.
man, he's making it even harder. He wants us all to come up with one.
Oh, geez.
and Iron Claw's not really a submission, so I'm going to say figure 4.
Yeah.
I like the figure 4. We might as well say the figure 8 because Charlotte's taking it to another level. The
Yeah.
figure 8, because it is a true finisher.
Yeah.
And
nobody else can arch their back like that. So-
you mentioned Chris Adams, Russ. Chris Adams was doing the Scorpion before it was the Scorpion
Yeah,
or the Sharpshooter.
yeah,
In fact, World Class didn't even know what to call it. They were calling it an inverted figure 4.
yes, I remember that.
Well, yeah, he was
Wow,
a
I
judo
don't
champion.
remember that.
So
Yeah,
I got one, and it's kind of I don't want to say it's just kind of off the main road here, but the Cobra hold, Cobra clutch.
oh yeah,
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Now that was one, the sleeper hold. They'd have the guy that put the sleeper hold on the other guy. They would have him rub the back of his neck and slap him and wake him back up. The
Yeah.
Cobra hold, you didn't do that. They just walked off. I'm not familiar with Hell's
man.
Gate.
It's,
Hey, I'm going to tell you another one. I'm going to tell you another submission that got popular with the women. What was that one that where she got, I think she did it to Victoria. It might have been AJ Lee was doing it.
Oh, that was the spider. The spider. right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where she,
Asuka does a version of that.
The Black Widow or something like
Yeah,
that.
Black Widow.
It was
Yeah.
impressive.
I like the Anaconda Vice and the Calf Crusher. CM Punk, AJ Styles. Because they're neat little things. That you can do. That's not on the face or the head. You're making them quit.
Yep. I guess mine finisher would have to be. Oh man, there's like two good ones that I used to like.
The small
was it?
package.
What-
But that just look down.
I would have to say the full Nelson,
Speaking of small packages,
the
there's
original. The crossface. And if I would have to say a finisher, man, I would say the Dusty Rhodes elbow,
the Bionic Elbow.
the Bionic elbow. Yep.
There you go.
Now, that's a product of the '70s, the Bionic Elbow.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I'm not familiar with Okada's new move, the Money Clip.
I'm not either, and I love Okada.
He's good.
Speaking of,
Okada's like the Ric Flair of Japan.
I just happen to have
Oh, wow,
there
you
go.
got the new one, huh?
An autograph.
Autograph too.
Inscribed
Oh
Green
my
Knight
God.
Okada action figure.
Nice.
That's just a
I got a pile of stuff because I couldn't take y'all for a tour like I did on that other live. So
I
Yeah.
got something for the
I got a
panel.
pile of stuff down there tonight.
The guys who do
And that was
watch
time.
AEW. What did you guys think when Will Ospreay walked out on the ramp the other night?
That's the first time I'd ever seen him.
When he walked out, I was like, "Oh my God!" My wife's like, "Who is he? I don't even know who he is."
I knew the name, but I didn't know who he.
I've heard of Will
I knew
Ospreay.
him by his face, but that's the first time I'd ever seen him on TV.
I
Yeah,
hope Okada shows up next time.
Oh, I love Okada. Hey, let me
He's
tell you
done a
what.
Hashi last week, right?
Will Ospreay he's a very, very impressive
Oh, yeah.
wrestler.
He is.
he is definitely impressive.
Well, we get into the wrestling discussion now. What did you guys think of the Cody Rhodes torn pec match? Impressive?
Okay.
I've gained a lot of respect for him. I was also concerned for him too, as well,
Yeah,
being a fan and watching it.
That was.
I
that was
mean,
a
me
risky
myself,
thing.
if I had an injury like that, I don't know if I'd be able to be out there, but he just took it to a whole new level.
He did.
I also heard, like he said, he made the speech at the end of the night. He said, I came out here on my own with permission. They, I told them I wanted to come out and do it for the fans and keep my promise to the fans. And I guess they let him do it. He got the approval.
I don't
And
think
he didn't have to do that. He didn't
he
have
may
to.
have been hurt, but I think at that point, because I was on a text thread with Dave and another guy, and I mean, before he even took that jacket off, I saw the bruising, and I'm like, this is not good.
Well, you can
And
see
I
his
knew-
arm was swelled and his hand.
Oh yeah, his whole pec and shoulder, and that's a brutal injury. The fact that he got out there and did the stuff he did, number one, he had to have something to numb some of that pain up, because good God, you can't literally. And he was doing stuff a little bit that he could, but I mean, anybody that doesn't respect professional wrestling now, after seeing that,
Yeah.
just like Shawn with his back injury at WrestleMania.
Yep.
He could barely move, and he was on that top rope, and you could just see it. Austin, after his neck injury, he tried to finish. You do what you do because it's in you.
Yep.
It's like somebody calling off sick at work. They going, "Chew, can't come to work tomorrow."
Yeah.
Yeah.
The love and support he has in the WWE is just unreal.
Oh yeah.
LeBron
That's why the
James
guys
should
want to
take
come
notes.
over.
LeBron James.
Yeah, LeBron James should take notes on this deal. So.
So should most athletes. Most athletes wouldn't have gone out there.
No. Heck no.
And,
I
and Cody would have been respected. Hey, not gone. But-
Hey, I always bring it back to the Super Bowl with Mean Joe Green when he
I'll be
taped
back,
up
guys.
his wrist
Okay.
and went out there and played with two broken hands.
Yeah.
These days they get an ingrown toenail and they can't work.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a lot of respect for him. I didn't watch it. I've seen a few clips from it,
Yeah.
but I didn't watch that pay-per-view.
It was brutal. Are
It
they
was
involved
live
in-
premium live event. Premium
Yeah.
live event. Excuse me.
It was brutal, but it was Zeph. They both went above and beyond. They both put on
Yeah.
a really good show.
That protected him very well.
Yes,
Yes, he
yes,
did.
that's what I was
Yeah.
gonna say. If you could see it, they were eye to eye, and a lot of
Yeah.
the moves.
It takes two to do it, and
Yes,
Seth really
absolutely.
did his part. Yes.
But if Cody hadn't gone out there and done that, nobody would have ever, blamed him for that. Nobody would have
No.
held it against him.
Oh
Yeah.
no,
But
No.
the
Not
fact
at
he
all.
did says a lot about his character.
His character and his love of
Yeah.
what he does.
exactly, and it made a statement in professional wrestling altogether.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Well, the thing is, too, you number one, it's in his blood, so he knows that what he needs to do. But two, he's so new back into that company, and it's just like what everybody's saying with Punk, like, oh great, look, here we go.
Yep.
Now he's hurt. Cody wasn't going to do that. Cody was just going to, just like Taker wrestling the hell of a cell with a broken ankle, climbing that thing. I mean, and he's 330 pounds.
Mhm.
And
One of
he's
my
up-
favorite lines is, "You can't bleed in the WWE, but you can't bleed, but internal bleeding's okay."
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But
Funny.
I have nothing but respect for him for going out and doing that. I mean, I'm not sure it was the smartest thing to do, but
What about Monday night?
But he's not going to get hurt any worse.
I
So
mean,
basically, you can poke and prod at it. It's just a hanging. When it comes off, the tendon comes off the bone, it's just kind of hanging there. So you can poke and prod. You're not going to hurt it. So, and they're not putting full weight into it. So, he's going to do what he's got to do to further the angle. And then he made the allusion to the Money in the Bank. So, could they do something to, Rollins is going up, something happens, and there's Cody getting the briefcase, to extend everything. Could that happen?
or Cody comes out and somebody goes up and throws it to Cody.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
Wouldn't surprise me a bit.
Well, it opens up a whole new, a lot of stuff that can be done,
Mhm.
which, that's forward thinking. And, maybe that was Cody on the fly thinking that. Who knows? Maybe we don't know.
Yeah.
did Seth attack him Monday night?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, because I just saw a clip where he came out and told him, "I don't
Like-
like you, but I respect you," and they shook hands.
Yeah,
Yeah, he got him in the
Back
ramp.
of his head.
As soon as Cody turned around and started waving to the crowd, I looked right at him. I go, Seth's coming back out.
Yep.
You can sense it.
I mean, sometimes it's just too obvious. And I mean, it's not fair because a lot of us, we've all watched it for so long. You can really read it.
Mhm.
And it's just, truthfully, it's no different than Friends or Big Bang. It's a TV
Yeah, my
show.
wife hates watching wrestling with me because I can tell you what's happening before it happens.
Yeah. Back in the 80s, you couldn't do that.
No.
Nope.
In the Attitude Era, you couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Nope.
No.
I call it the age of the Monday morning booker. Everybody's,
Oh, yeah.
I would have booked it that way. Yeah. Well, you're not in the business, so shut up.
Well, I've told people at work, they want to talk about, this and they don't understand all the wrestling fans. It's just like all these, guys that do the fantasy football. They're all fat, out of shape, ain't never seen a gym. They don't know nothing about nothing. They haven't been athletic since they were 12 when they played Pee Wee football.
Yeah.
And you're out
They're
there
still living
trying
the
to
glory
explain
days.
what this is, and you can't do that. If you've never done it, Dave's a referee. We've all been, I've been involved in it, and in my ways for several years. You can't, and I'm not on any way on Dave's level whatsoever. But we've been around and we've seen and we've been, we got friends in the business and you see things. But these people that ain't never, they come in and try to take one bump and they're in the emergency room with a neck brace on. It's the Monday morning quarterback thing is just really. But that's nothing but what those guys on TV are on ESPN. They don't play the game. They haven't, what's his name? Stu, the guy with Stephen A. The other guy, the old guy.
You had to mention Stephen A., didn't you?
I don't care about him either. He's another idiot. But the other guy that was with him, the old guy, he tried to talk about that. I mean, dude, you haven't played nothing since you were like in high school.
Yeah. And they're still reliving their glory days.
Yes.
Right?
Remember when I caught that pass in the homecoming game?
It's
We
like
lost
Al
by
Bundy.
5.
Al Bundy, 4 touchdowns in a single game.
Yeah, there
Like
you go.
the fish story. My fish was this big.
This big.
Right.
That's
So,
what I
Andy-
hate about today's product is you got way too many people trying to say that how they could do it better. And back when Dave and I watched it, and I'm sure Russ too, and Andy, maybe Richard, we like the surprises.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Like- Michael Hayes dressed up as Santa Claus, running in the ring and hitting Mike Von Erich after the match.
Yeah, Nikita Koloff joining Dusty.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Great. stuff.
Nobody saw
Nobody
that
ever saw it
coming.
coming. Yeah.
No.
Or Dusty
No.
Rhodes and Magnum PA coming out with the fur coats on
Yeah.
on national television.
Yep.
The story behind that's awesome too. If you ever heard it, I know Dave's probably heard the original story.
I haven't.
Was it Dusty and Flair were in Vegas with their wives, and they started
Yeah.
buying. Flair bought a coat, Dusty bought a coat, or the other way around.
Yeah.
My favorite
Everything was a
line of
competition.
Dusty's- favorite line of Dusty's is, "That's a nice hat right there."
Yeah. The way he flung it in the crowd. Sorry.
Oh, those were the days.
Yeah.
See, and that's the problem. Is I just want my wrestling to make sense.
Yeah. Exactly.
I
I
agree.
just want it to make sense. And the thing is that it's a product today that doesn't have to make sense.
Right.
So
no good
we're-
storytelling.
but it's not for me anymore. They're not promoting. I'm not their audience. Now, there's nothing I like better than taking my grandkids to watch wrestling because I get a kick out of how much they enjoy it. There's things
yeah.
that they really get into that I roll my eyes at. But if I can watch it through the eyes of a child, I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
So I know it's not for me. And man, I can't remember the last time I sat and watched Raw or SmackDown.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm fully invested in AEW
And I'm only there for the surprises.
Yeah.
more than Raw and SmackDown.
The big
I watch
announcements.
pay-per-views and stuff to keep up with everything and keep in the now. In case it's brought up on the podcast, but NXT goes straight to DVR. SmackDown goes straight to DVR. I may watch Raw live.
I misread that. I thought it said they would know the Ultimate Warrior Sucks Cup.
That's why I motioned toward it. I'm like, what?
Oh,
I
but
think he
I'll
means a
give you-
sippy cup. Sippy cup.
let me give you an example. They have a battle royal the other night because whoever wins battle royal is going to fight Moxley
Yeah.
to see who gets to go for the interim championship.
Interim.
Now, I don't like interim champions in wrestling, but AEW does tournaments like Super Kicks. They got way too many of them.
Mhm.
Well,
I
just
mean-
like belts.
So you can't have a tournament for every championship because they're already doing it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
like we need a number one contender. Now, wins and losses matter, but we still got to have a number one contender. So we're going to have a tournament. Or, I mean, that's just what they go to. Tony Khan loves tournaments, but in this tournament, Darby Allin climbs to the top rope and does a coffin drop to the floor. So I'm thinking he just eliminated himself. He went from the top rope to the floor. He's out.
Yes.
But why are you doing a coffin drop at a battle royal? The idea is to throw people over the top rope. You're out there getting your crap in. It don't make sense, but that's what they do. And I'm not
Yeah.
criticizing anybody's ability. I'm not criticizing anybody's ability. So don't think for a minute that that's what my problem is. Then you got John Moxley, who's been out for a while and has been a tag team wrestler since he got back. But he's the number one contender because he's got this record, I guess. Now, Anthony Ogogo, I think, is like 18-1. Or he may not have even lost. So why is Anthony Ogogo the number one contender if wins or losses? Or how about, I don't think Adam Cole's lost but one. How about, I'm
I
saying,
thought one of his partners was going to win. That young kid, the Ring of
yeah,
Honor
Won Battle
champion.
Royal.
Yuta Wheeler,
Yeah, I
like
thought
him.
he was going to win it.
But
Yeah, I
what I'm saying is they got these wins and losses matter and these records, but they matter until they don't matter. And it drives me crazy.
Oh yeah, 1 week it's on, and then the next week you don't hear about it anymore.
Right.
And
That's
don't get
because
me
you
started
got to
about
mark all the
referees.
matches. You got to
And
mark
don't get me
all the
started.
matches.
Don't get me started about a referee that won't count.
We'll bring
Well,
up.
I heard a rumor that Tony Khan's going to get in the ring and form a tag team. It's a new faction called Vandalay Industries.
I was just gonna say that. Hey Dave, we said this on the show before, but they say Tony Khan looks like Kramer after he done a line of coke.
It does. Even down to the jacket.
I can't even unsee it.
Gotcha.
Oh.
Giddy up.
I posted that in my cousin's group, and everybody went crazy.
I never watched Seinfeld. I know who Kramer is. I just wasn't a Seinfeld fan.
Hey, but
Every time he comes out, I got a special announcement, or the lights go dark again.
Yeah.
I was telling everybody, and hey, the guy's got passion, and if I had as much money as he does, I'd have a wrestling company too, and I'd be doing just what he's doing, and I'd probably be doing a little better. But
you weren't.
But I don't
on
know.
the show.
I don't know that the kids would respond. The kids would not respond to my Bill Watts way of thinking about booking wrestling.
Yeah. What did you think of that MJF promo?
Yeah, we have talked about that.
I liked it.
I loved it.
I liked it. I liked it. And I cuss like a sailor. I'm over the cussing on TV.
Yes.
Because to me, it's an art form. If Michael Hayes and Terry Gordy and Buddy Roberts could yell and scream and get their point across and not cuss like sailors, I think there's too much of it.
Well, I'll be honest. The TV version was okay. The unedited version was a little overboard. I think you would have got your point across if you heard the TV version when it bleeped out and everything. But I think it was a solid promo, and it was like back from the 80s.
I think it was greater. I think I haven't said this. I think MJF cut a better promo than CM Punk's pipe bomb.
I agree. Yeah.
Yep.
It was that good. Yeah.
And I also said that
you think too, it's all these years later. So the context that it was absolutely was better because that back then it fit totally what was going on. So the context now within MJF, absolutely it fit.
But if they're going to do an angle, I think what they should have done, and I understand we're pulling MJF off TV. This is great. And the best part about an angle in wrestling is is it real or not? Now I believe it's a work shoot. I think that they backed themselves into a corner and now they're trying to work it out. But the best angles are the ones you can't tell if it's real or not.
Right.
But what I would have done is I'd have got MJF in that battle royal. I'd have had him beat John Moxley, and I'd make MJF the champion right now. It might not have been what you wanted to do, but with Punk down, that's what you needed to do. And then,
because then you can have Punk and Cena match all over again.
But now you've got this man that hates you as your champion. So Tony Khan has a guy that hates his guts as a champion. And that could create a little tension. And maybe Tony Khan could graduate from the Dixie Carter role to the Vince McMahon role.
Right.
Because right now he's Dixie Carter because he's signing every ex-WWE. She signs all.
Every single one.
It's the flavor of the
hit
week.
The nail on the head.
And that's not and it kind of sounds like a criticism, but it's really not. It's just what it. I got a friend, me and Russ are in a text chain with this guy, and he loses his mind every time somebody gets a job. And I'm like, to me, that's just somebody else who's working. And I see the big picture because you got all this YouTube content, Ring of Honor's coming. He's stockpiling all this talent. He's got to do something with it because he's having to pay them. But he's very Dixie Carter-like that the flavor of the week's come in. Now, he's been good about keeping him away from his main championship until CM Punk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But, I mean, that's CM Punk, and you know that he was going to do that.
Yeah, you knew Punk was going to eventually get the title, and, I know he got hurt in between walking down the ramp and at some point in the match.
Well, they showed him jumping into the crowd and hitting his leg on the barricade. That might have happened, or he went onto the top rope to do a jump, and if you notice, he kind of tweaked a little bit.
Well, there was another time he did it twice.
One of the acclaimed is claiming credit for hurting him. I mean, he said that he stomped on him or something.
There was he jumped into the crowd. Then when he went to give the first thing off the top rope and he stumbled with that, I think that's in the ring.
That's what I was going to say.
There was another time he tried something and he missed. And I think it's that one that got him because that's when he kind of knelt down and he was limping.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Ralph made this comment, and I see where you went with this. That's a Kramer reference. No, it's a yes, Kramer. Yeah, the coffee table book that makes it falls into a coffee table. Yeah. That's great.
I would like. I mean, we know it's going to be Moxley versus Tanahashi. I don't see a scenario that Tanahashi doesn't win his match. But I would love nothing better than Tanahashi to be the interim champion.
I could live
Somebody
with that.
told me they thought that they were going to swap title, like AEW title was going to be by a Japanese guy, IWGP by an American guy, and so that they could have the inner brand going back and forth.
That'd be interesting.
There's not a universe. There is no universe that Okada loses to Hangman Page.
No,
Oh.
I don't think that match is going to happen anyway.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Forbidden Door.
It has happened though. At All In, it was Hangman versus Okada.
Yeah,
the first All In Chicago. Oh, I'm looking forward to Forbidden Door, but I love New Japan.
Oh, I like it too. Nice.
Just want to remind everybody we are sponsored by Mark Leather and by Unique Spirit Championship belts. So get that.
and I will have a Mark Leather Texas Heavyweight title coming up.
It's not a Mark
Nice.
Leather. That one has not been releathered.
Oh,
I told you that.
I forgot. I don't know. I probably had a drink that night.
You might have.
$32.
But you do have some Mark Leather belts. Or
Yes, I
couple of
do.
them.
I got those 2 Dome Globes that are awesome. Is that the only 2 I have? I think so.
Well, you got the
And
U.S.
No, I
the
had
U.S.
the Dome
of that.
Globe and I had the U.S.
Yes.
And then the United States belt. I'm gonna, Karen McDaniel's son Nolan died, and he was such a good kid. I was good friends with him, and I'm friends with Karen through to a friend Dave knows. And I'm gonna have everybody in the Charlotte show autograph the back of it, and I'm gonna give it to her because Wahoo is the United States champion.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give that belt to her, in honor of her and Nolan and Wahoo and her son Storm, who also passed away.
Wow, that's nice.
I just thought it'd be a cool thing to do since she's a good friend, and let her see that her her wrestling family is really with her.
Speaking of family of wrestlers, I just recently friended Frances Kogue, whose dad was Bad News Brown.
Oh wow!
And she posted something today that said that they're going to release an action figure of him.
Nice.
Oh wow!
It's going to be released as Bad News Allen, which is his previous wrestling name for the WWE.
WWF, yeah.
WWF. Yeah.
He was with Stampede. I think he was Stampede up there, and he was Bad News Allen in Florida too.
Yeah,
He's
I think it's
Bad
when
News-
he went to WWF, he went to Bad News Brown.
Was he Bad News Brown in Mid South, or was he Bad News Allen in Mid South?
He might
I
have
think
been
it's Bad News Allen
I want to say he was.
because he's always Bad News Allen in my wrestling magazines. So.
Yeah.
But,
I could never
anyway, that's
understand that as a kid. Why all of a sudden this guy would go over here, and then he'd be over here. It'd be a totally different name, but he did the exact same stuff.
Yeah.
I could never.
Like King
as a
Kong
kid,
Bundy with hair.
Yeah, could never grasp that.
It's so weird because he was
Right?
bald. Because he was bald the first time I saw him, and then I saw Then I went back and I was able to see some old World Class with it, and he had hair.
Yep.
I think the last match he had with hair was when Fritz beat him in his retirement match.
Yeah,
Was it
'cause
82?
he lost to Kevin. When he lost to Kevin, that was a hair match.
Oh, was it? Okay.
He lost his hair to Kevin.
Was not aware of that.
I still say the best hair match ever, and I think Super Dave will agree with me on this, is when the Von Erichs beat Chris and Gino. I still love that match. I
Yeah.
can watch that match all day long and watch the reaction after. Is the
Well,
best.
The funniest part was when Gino tried to get away and the little Von Erich kid, still a
Tackled
kid,
him.
tackled him.
Chris.
Chris Von Erich.
Yeah.
I
was
don't know
great.
that Iceman Buddy Roberts hair match was pretty good.
Yeah. Because Iceman actually lost the match. I mean, it was a, he was jobbed out on that, but he got the hair. That was great.
I like to watch that Skywalker match with the Road Warriors and
Midnight Express.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I can watch
Big-
that over and over.
And Big Bubba forgot to catch Jim Cornette.
He didn't,
Hawk wrestled that
he
match
didn't
with a broken
forget.
leg.
Yeah.
Hawk wrestled that match with a broken fibula.
Oh, did he?
He broke it in
Oh, that's
Japan
right. I did hear about
earlier.
that. Yeah. I never liked that match. I just thought it was way too dangerous. I mean, that's not. You really can't do anything up there. You know,
Well, the
I
first
like
one
that
ever
one,
had
and I
was
like
in
the Cage of
Memphis.
Doom. That
I
was
think the
another
first one was
match I used
Memphis.
to like. The three stages of Doom.
Mhm.
Triple Dome of Terror.
There you go.
World Class, they call it the Thunderdome. That's where I first saw it was World Class. I'm like Dave. I grew up watching World Class. I watched Georgia Championship Wrestling, and then I got into World Class. I started watching World Class between the two Ric Flair Kerry Von Erich matches in '82.
You're right there about the same time I was in.
Yeah, I started watching about the time the Freebirds came in because they were talking about the rematch with the Flair, and they were going to have the special referee. When I heard that Michael Hayes was coming to territory, I thought, "Oh, cool," because they come to Oklahoma.
See, when we got to see the NWA, the AWA, and all that up in New York, I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. We used to do tape trades with our friends down south, and they would mail us the tape, and that's how we watched, your World Class and everything else.
Yeah.
And then we used to send them stuff from up north so they could see what goes on up there.
17, Ralph. 17.
Boy, it didn't take you long to answer that, did you? Wow. I'm nostalgic. I have
Oh,
to go with
mine?
WrestleMania 1.
18
I'm
was
sorry,
pretty
but
good.
I'm a Hogan mark.
18 was pretty good too. 25 was good.
enjoyed
I
the
love
first one.
WrestleMania 1.
Yeah, me too.
I gotta,
I
I gotta
did too.
say that.
And I haven't seen all of them, but I'm nostalgic. So
The only reason why that has sentimental to me is because I remember watching it with my dad and how I was so excited. My dad wanted to introduce me to, the WWF at the time. And after that, we watched every one since, and I haven't missed one yet.
The first one was good. I know I had to go to the cable company and get a box.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was able to watch it
No
at home, but I
pay-per-view
actually had to install a box to do it.
Yep.
And you had to put a deposit on the box, and then you got your money deposit back when you took the box back.
yeah,
But I remember that with Ali and when Liberace rang that bell and the
Mr. T.
Rockettes and Mr. T. Oh,
Yep.
I remember the buildup with Hogan and T on Saturday Night Live, and
The night before.
Oh yeah.
I mean
Cindy
When he was on the A team.
WrestleMania was a huge deal.
Oh yeah.
Yes, it was. Yep.
Well, wrestling hadn't exploded like that yet.
yeah.
It had never been. I mean, the NWA had tried, and they actually Starrcade was great, and Vince wanted to do what he wanted to do, and the whole thing of it all was Vince saw what could be, and he saw the money that could be made. Nobody else wanted to go crazy, and then that's what they all said about Fritz. If Fritz would have just done it, that could have been him.
Worst.
Chris is
WrestleMania-
just too set in his
WrestleMania 2
ways.
was terrible. I hated it. Oh
2 was really bad.
yes.
But I'm trying to think there is one that stands out like just a complete. The one they did at the Performance Center was pretty bad.
Yeah.
That's 'cause they didn't have
I
a
say
choice.
the pandemic ones. Yep.
Yeah,
Those were no
They
crowd.
tried.
Really big difference. Yeah.
I
They
have more
started to lose me
WrestleMania.
during the pandemic.
I have
believe
more
it or not.
WrestleMania memories. I mean, like in New Orleans, I remember when Asuka tapped, and I didn't expect her to tap.
oh yeah.
WrestleMania 9. Which one was that one?
Vegas.
Yeah, that was
Is that the one
pretty
with
bad
Trump?
too.
Is that the one Trump was there?
No,
No,
that's
that
the
was,
one where
They all
We're,
came out
um,
on camels, and they were all in the Caesar's
Oh
Palace.
yeah.
Yokozuna lost. Yokozuna won. Yokozuna
Beat
won,
Red.
and then immediately put the belt on Hogan.
I like the one where Mike Tyson was the referee in the Shawn Michaels match.
Yes.
14, 13, 14.
And see, those, like I said, I got more WrestleMania memories that I can remember this memory and this memory as opposed to and just enjoying the whole card. And if I was going to say my second favorite WrestleMania, I may say that night one of this recent one
Yeah, it was
I
pretty
agree.
good.
That was great.
because
I
I
agree.
sat there and loved that from start to finish. I was there, and man, when I realized that when I realized Austin was going to wrestle,
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. And then about 15 minutes into the match, I'm like, I saw his first match and now I'm seeing his last match. I'm bookending Austin. How great is this?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did really good.
That was a surprise. I mean, at least for me, I mean, watching Austin and knowing that his, and again, obviously we all don't know him, but the way he is, and Dave, you've had, you talked to Conrad about him and stuff, and Conrad's met him and knows him. It just Steve is just a go forward guy, and I just think that he saw the money that could be made, and he saw what it could be, and I think that, of course, Vince probably talked him into it, but hey, if he thought he could still go, he went. He did really good, and when he came out the second night, he didn't look like he was hurt or nothing.
And here's my
Like I
thing
said,
about
that-
WWE.
That night, Logan Paul, Stone Cold Steve Austin, who else was it? Pat McAfee. They stole the show that night.
Bianca looked pretty good too.
Charlotte
Yeah.
and Ronda were excellent.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what I heard. I don't watch WWE. I quit watching, I don't know, 8-9 months ago. Just couldn't stomach it anymore.
I'm that
Well,
way. I can't watch it. I mean, we were there, and with Austin, and I wanted to see Charlotte, and so about 2:00 in the afternoon, I started looking at scalper tickets, and I got some really good seats, pretty cheap, because I think I paid $80 for my ticket, and the guy next to me paid $185 for his. So that's the key: is wait till the closer to the bell time you get, the cheaper they get.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
On a big show like that.
Where do you find
But I was
scalper?
impressed. I was impressed with the WrestleMania.
I had a great time, and that was my second one at Cowboy Stadium.
Yep.
Ralph says Owen versus Brett WrestleMania 10 is his favorite.
I think Brett and Austin at 13 is one of the best too.
Yeah.
I agree.
Sean Taker won.
I got one for you, Dave. Favorite entrance from a wrestler. If you could name a favorite entrance from one of your favorite wrestlers, which one has the best entrance?
I immediately want to knee jerk to Charlotte and New Orleans, but that's just because I love her.
There's Platinum. Hello, Platinum.
For me,
How loud
man.
was it when that glass crashed in Dallas?
Oh,
That's pretty epic.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking about entrances. I mean, Triple H has had some good ones.
Oh yeah. Sean too.
the Road Warriors, the place would go crazy.
You know, you say the Road Warriors. I heard Iron Man on local rock station,
Mhm.
and the whole time I was hearing that, I was just picturing the Road Warriors busting
Yep.
through the curtain at TBS, hitting the
Yep.
ring and destroying everybody.
Greatest entrance.
I always
exactly.
do. That's what I think of
From
too.
nuts.
But if I'm going to go back, Dusty Rhodes came out to a Hank Williams Jr. song. You can't judge a book by looking at the cover. You can't judge
Mhm.
me. That one stands out. That one stands out. No, man, it's Ric Flair's retirement entrance. It's Ric Flair's retirement entrance. I cried when Charles Robinson held the ropes for him. I still
Whoa.
cry when Charles Robinson held the ropes for him.
Flair
I
retired.
cried the night when Shawn Michaels went to kick him and said, "I love you. I'm sorry."
Yeah,
Flair
that-
Oh yeah,
When did
Well-
Flair retire?
the
yeah.
the retirement match is the one that's my favorite entrance of all time is Ric Flair's retirement match against Shawn Michaels.
Remember when Funk retired the first time with him and
When him and
Mick
Brett.
Foley went at it on Cactus Jack?
He's back. Oh, they did the hardcore matches.
Yeah.
They sat there in the ring and kind of just BS like we're doing. Talked about stuff like that. That they like to killed each other.
Yeah, I would have to go. One of my favorite entrances would have to be Ric Flair. Would have to be one. The Undertaker Tag Team Road Warriors.
There's only going to be 2 on retirement matches for him.
No, didn't he
And
lose
I would have to
Hogan
say
in
Ricky the
Australia?
Dragon
Was supposed to be a
Steamboat.
retirement tour?
Have they found an opponent for Flair yet? For that final match?
Supposedly there's talks with Hogan, is what
I
I'm
heard that.
hearing.
Oh, I hope not.
No.
I hope
It's
not.
not.
That's what I'm hearing. Between
It's
him
not
and Ric
Hogan.
Flair, there's talks of doing it.
It's,
It's,
not Hogan.
it's
But
not
I
Hogan.
also heard that if Rick does it and it's Hogan's not involved, he wants to do NWA.
I saw something today that Matt, what's his name, the current NWA champion,
Cardona.
Cardona?
Cardona.
Yeah. that he wants to be the opponent for the title.
Yeah, I saw that. But isn't he
Yeah.
hurt?
Could
Yeah,
you
he said
imagine
Bliss
if Rick
and
I don't know
won
if that's kayfabe
and
or what.
retires with the 10 pounds of gold?
I love
Yeah,
Rick.
that'd be great.
I don't. Hey, look, whatever they're gonna do with Rick, they're gonna do with Rick. Flair's Flair. He's the goat. We all love him. You know.
Yep.
I whatever they're gonna do, I'm gonna like. So
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll tell you another great entrance. He said, "Manny and Rude, we will rock you." And the Fabulous Freebirds, when they came into the Sportatorium, and they were led by Confederate soldiers, and they were playing they came out to Georgia on My Mind,
Oh, they were wearing the rebel robes. The
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
and they came out, and you might be able to find it on YouTube with the original music, but it's
Yeah.
they played Georgia on My Mind, and by
I remember that match.
Willie Nelson's version, and they
Yeah.
came marched into the Sportatorium. That was pretty cool.
And they won the 6-man titles back in that match, I believe.
I think they
I
did.
think that was the return match after Texas
Isn't that where
Stadium.
Kevin said this is a war between decency and filth?
yeah, I think so.
I don't remember, but
Kevin
I remember
Von
that
Erichsen, right?
the Von Erichs was 6-man tag champs then, and the
They had the
Freebirds won them
trophy.
back that time. Yeah, the trophy.
Because
Yeah.
the trophy was already in the ring.
I'll tell you a good entrance, and it goes back to some of the WWF stuff. If you ever go back and watch the big event from Toronto at the CME or the Toronto Exhibition Stadium, Hogan against Orndorff, Hogan's entrance, that crowd was crazy.
Ralph, it was Funk. Nobody has more retirement matches than Funk.
No,
Yeah. Flair is going for the record.
Did you see that meetup that him and Mick Foley had? Mick picked Funk up and took him out, and they had pictures taken together.
Huh.
And they were talking about he remembers some of the old days to an extent, and certain things his memory is just like blank.
Well,
Yeah.
because those guys, just like the old football players, the old school guys, they didn't make the money and stuff like they make now.
Yeah.
And it's really sad that some of these newer guys, they don't take care of the older guys, the older school. NFL, some of the players associated. I was just reading an article today. It was on USA Today about one of the ABA players that died. And he was hoping to get the $2,000 a month pension off the NBA, and he'd been fighting
I
to try
saw
to
that.
get it.
Yeah, I read
And
that.
I'm like, why not take care of these? Well, you're making millions and millions and millions of dollars, pissing away more money than this guy ever would have asked you for.
Yep.
And you can't help.
Yep. I
I
mean,
agree.
hate it or love it, Jericho is awesome when it comes to stuff like that.
He sure
He's
is.
donated a lot of money.
He has.
I'm almost positive I was in line behind Jericho at Graceland one year. We went on vacation, and I was in the gift shop at the visitor center, and there's a guy that looked just like him in front of me. So he pulled out a credit card to pay, and I saw the name Chris on the credit card, but I couldn't remember what the last name was. It wasn't Jericho. He's got a
Irvine?
different real
Irvine.
Irvine. It could have been, but
Irvine.
I'm almost positive it was him. This had to have been back in 2006
No, but you're right,
or
Russ.
7.
These kids today, the wrestlers today, don't show the veterans the respect that they deserve.
No. And when it's done right, like when they want to, job out some of the guys or use them to further their talent, the old school's got most guys had no problem doing that if it's done the right way, and it needs to be done the right way. And just like in the NFL and in Major League Baseball, Look what they're doing to Pujols. Pujols isn't even getting a good send off. I mean, he's a legend. You know, he should be getting a better send off than what he's getting. I mean, 600 home runs, guy's got 3,000 hits, sure ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, it just is. It just shows the mentality of how this country is changing, and it has. You know, it truly is all about money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah. About me and
runs-
culture.
Me. Yeah.
It
Yep,
runs
all
rampant
about
in this hobby too. It runs rampant in, you know, a lot of sports and businesses. And
The almighty dollar.
yes,
Yep.
What's in it for me?
Yep.
that old guy
Yeah,
right
my-
there has done me a few favors in his time.
Who are you pointing at?
The old guy over there, my right.
Yes.
This way. Right
Oh,
here.
Dave. Yeah.
Oh, I'm trying real hard not to call you a bitch, Russ.
I
Hey,
can't
excuse
say
me.
anything because I'm the younger guy. I'm the kid out of the bunch.
Yeah, you're
so.
the kid.
I'm Steph's bitch, not yours.
You're everybody's.
No, I don't think so.
Oh man, me and Russ
First time
go-
she said that to me, she was like trying to be under her breath, and then when she saw us all laughing, it's been on ever since.
Well, she don't talk that way, so that's because I remember she went, "Bitch." If y'all don't know, all the way back to the Yahoo clubs, I don't
Oh, yeah.
remember. Somebody said, I mean, Russ is a bitch was a thing,
Yeah,
and it just became a catchphrase.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, we're not being ugly with it when we call
No,
him that.
Yeah.
But
but I will say this: the one guy that did start that would never say it to my face, and he never did.
who started? Was it Fade?
Yep, sure was. Me and Dave been around a long time in this.
Gianni, I think I got Andy by about 2-3 months.
3 months. Yeah. You got
3 months, okay.
All y'all older than me, and I'm the old guy.
I'll be 56 in September.
Man,
56 in December for me.
I'm 47.
I'll be 52 here in less than a month.
Oh, I'm 56, but I don't feel a day over 63.
That's right.
Yeah, that's me.
Hey,
That's me.
I'll tell you a funny story. Me and Mark have gained to be good friends. We used to do wrestling promos. That's how I know Mark. And I talk to Mark practically almost every day.
We say good morning every morning. We say good night every night. BS sometimes during the day. We
The hobby brought us together. The promo hobby, the belt hobby.
This
You know,
hobby's grown a lot in the last 25 years. It's
Some of my best friends are because of this hobby.
yes.
I mean, I talk to Russ every day.
Yeah.
Me and Russ are Russ and Mike Page.
Yeah.
In a group text. We
Nate.
talk every day, and then of course my group chat is we all bonded because of belt collectors.
Yeah.
I remember getting hit up by Russ one day. He said, "Hey man, you still working there?" And I'm like, "Where?" I guess my name is a common name, and then after that, we just started talking after that on the show and stuff like that.
I met a lot of my real good friends over the, you know, the first time I went to 25 in Texas in Houston, I had taken some belts down to sell. I think I told this the last time I was on. I went there to sell these 3 belts, and the guy kind of didn't show up. You know, he called me like 3 days later when I'm back home after I had to tote that crap. If you've ever had to tote the real belts back and forth, Dave will attest. It's a pain in the ass. Trying to get
It
him
is.
on and off the plane. So I had him in. My dad goes, "Hey, go up to the room and get one." So I brought the winged eagle down and set it on the bar. And within 5 minutes, the entire bar's around us. And then he goes, "Go get the other 2." So it was a world class in WAUS. And then everybody was there wanting to get pictures with him. And it was just a lot of fun. You know, and you see how much it can really bring people together. And because people see those and it's their childhood.
I want to point out something here. Gianni says he talks to Andy every day, but Andy doesn't talk back to him. So.
Now, I got a funny belt story. We're in Charlotte, and I think Russ was at the table, and and we all have big golds. And I've got my big gold, and Jay-Z's there, and he's got his big gold, and Conrad's there, and he's got his big gold. And, his big gold is the big gold.
The big gold, yeah.
And it's just sitting on the table. No big deal. Just sitting on the table. And Sabu
that
walks
thing?
by. Sabu walks by, and he looks down at it, and he goes, fake shit. And just kept on walking. And one of our guys, Poppy gets pissed because he knows Sabu and went after him and got on his ass for doing that. But I'm thinking I'm sitting here. It's the holy grail of wrestling belts is sitting here, and you fake shit.
Was that the night Megan was there and everybody was sitting around the big table? When we were all sitting.
This
in the
was
bar?
earlier in the day.
Okay.
It was the same trip because she showed up later. That's when they had their first date.
Yep. She was really nice. She was super nice. Yeah, we've seen some remarkable belts over the years.
And I think, Rusty, you've held or seen the real Dome Globe up close, right? Or did you get to hold it?
Dave, did you go to that with Flair and Harley?
I didn't get to go. I got promoted that year, and I couldn't. And
That's right.
I took my store over right at the same time. I had to cancel.
Yeah, I was. I literally, this close to the glass.
It was in the case, wasn't it?
Yeah, and
Okay.
at that time, if I remember right, I think back then, Dave will remember too. I think Milliken was kind of in charge of the belt at that, during that trip. I think him and somebody else, and even to just open the case to touch the belt or move the belt, just to open the case was like $500 or $700.
Oh wow.
Gianni, I had him in my suitcase. I took a carry-on, and I had my clothes, and I kind of mixed them in with the clothes, and I carried one in a backpack. And that shit gets heavy real fast.
Hell yeah.
It does, especially the real Reggie Park stuff. Some of the new stuff, like that TV belt I had. I know the Texas belt is going to be nice. Some of the smaller belts are not so bad, but when you get a couple of the bigger belts, it can be really heavy to carry with you through the airport and in your suitcase. And they love going through the metal detector.
Oh, I bet.
I'll bet.
Oh yeah, they see that, they'll pull you right out of line. You go, hey, what's this?
Yeah, what's this?
Yeah.
Don't touch it.
Yeah. My uncle actually held the 10 pounds of gold when Harley had it.
Nice.
He was at Lawton, Oklahoma at the wrestling matches, and Harley Race was champion. This is before Ric Flair's first reign. He was defending the title against Andre the Giant. And my uncle hated Harley Race. I've told the story before. He was a Dusty Rhodes fan. So him and it was my dad's brother and my mother's brother. And my mother's brother was the one that hated Harley Race. So he's talking smack the whole way down and said, I can't wait to kick his ass when I see him. So they pull up to a stoplight. Yeah. So they pull up to a stoplight, and a Porsche pulls up next to him with a big old burly tattooed arm standing at the window. And my other uncle said, here's your chance. He just pulled up next to us. And Harley was looking for the arena. He didn't know what the arena was. He was lost. So they said, follow us and we'll take you there. So they went there, and they met him in the parking lot, thanked them, and gave them tickets, but they had front row seats. So they went in there, and I guess they were sitting behind the timers table. They were right there in the front row. And while the match was going on, my uncle picked up the belt off the table, held it up to his waist, and had my other uncle take his picture with it.
Oh, nice.
Man.
I have not seen the picture. I need to ask him next time I see him.
If you did that today, buddy, you'd be tackled by like 12 people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I sent you a picture, Mark, of it was the Ric Flair Harley Race photo op from that Fan Fest.
Okay.
05?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Let me download that. Give me just a second.
Is that 05, Dave?
No, the Harley Race Ric Flair picture was from when you went in 10.
Oh, okay.
Let me pull that up here. Just a second. Upload it.
Yeah, I got to start redoing my room eventually. When I get all my classic collection together.
Okay.
Yeah,
I have a Ric Flair wall.
Wow.
I believe it.
I
There's the picture.
feel badass because I got an Undertaker wall.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Now, there's a picture just like that one of Harley and Rick Becker in the background with Rusty in the middle.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the photo op.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I've got a picture with that because the belt's still in that frame, and they had it at access, and I took a picture. I got close to it and took a picture with it.
Yeah,
Wow.
Triple H has that, right?
Yeah, it's in his office.
But yeah, it hangs in Titan Towers.
That's nice.
Ralph.
Did you know that everybody says that KVE that's carved in it?
Yeah.
That Kerry did that?
Kevin.
Yeah.
Kerry did not do that. Kevin did it.
Yeah, Kevin.
really?
Yeah.
Kevin did it while Kerry had the belt.
Mm.
Yep.
Interesting.
I heard that too.
Interesting.
Yeah, Ralph says 15-minute warning.
Yeah, I lost track of time. So
Doesn't feel like we've been on this long. This has
No,
been fun.
This
Oh,
has
it's
been
having a
fun.
good time. Time. You don't
Yeah.
feel the
It's
time.
awesome, man. It's good having you on here, man.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
having
Thanks
both
for
of you.
having me. I've had a blast.
you're welcome to come back anytime. Anytime.
I'm for
Maybe
it.
one of these days you can show us your whole collection there.
Whoa. Okay.
I'd love
okay.
to see that.
Hey,
I had that last
Hey,
word
now.
in there. Okay.
Sorry,
Well,
I was
yeah,
reading
come on,
something
Mark,
at the
what are you
same time.
talking
So
Uh-huh.
No, what you can do
He
is
emphasized it. He emphasized it, and I'm thinking, quit teasing Russ.
I should have.
Quit teasing Russ.
If you
I said-
want, share it.
I
with
meant your
members
entire
and
collection.
Take a picture or something.
I meant your entire collection.
I'll just
Sorry.
have, I don't know if I can log in with my iPhone with on SteamYard.
Yeah.
You should be able to. I'm on my
Yeah.
cell phone right now.
You
But I
you
can't
have
use
to
Safari. I
you have
can't
to
use
copy the
Safari
link
browser.
and paste it. Yeah, you have to paste it in Safari.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
But I can't
Yeah.
use Safari for it on my Mac.
that's
Okay.
that's.
I have
it.
to use
Yeah.
Chrome.
Well, come on back
Ah.
sometime and show us, your entire collection.
I'll be
Yeah,
glad
I'd love
to.
to see that.
There's a Ric Flair action figure with his retirement, the new retirement robe. It's a Major Figure Brothers. That podcast does those bendies like
The
these,
bendy.
Oh yeah.
like
Yeah.
like there's my
Yeah.
Oh,
card.
nice.
They're doing one of those with Flair in his retirement robe. They're only making 1,000 of them. 750 of them are autographed.
There's a group of that's out there that just did a couple classic figures, a line of classic figures, and it's
Faces
I
and
think
Heels.
it's Terry Von Erich.
Oh,
Magnum.
Yeah.
that's a
DiBiase's
GoFundMe though.
Yeah, that's awesome though. I
Yeah.
looked at it, I was like, man, those would be good to have.
I want it because Kerry comes with an Iron Claw hand and a world class belt.
Yeah,
That
I like
would
the
be
Magnum
so
TA.
awesome.
Comes with the United States, NWA
Yeah.
United States.
Yep.
My all-time favorite belts.
Like I said, it's a GoFundMe project, so I don't know if it's a guaranteed that it'll happen. But
I hope so.
I'm going to roll the dice on it. And Faces and Heels, Zombie Sailor Toys has
Yep.
their first set. Their first set is it's coming now, and then they're going to put Series 2 on, and Series 2 is going to have Bruiser Brody.
Oh, man.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know there's more in there, but when I heard Bruiser Brody, I'm like, okay, I'm buying Series 2 for sure.
Another blue alert.
Man, and I got my sound turned off. That's not
They don't
Amber Alert.
care. They don't care. What's an Amber Alert?
You ever be
No,
sleeping?
this is-
You ever been
it's a-
sleeping and that goes off?
Fuck no.
Yeah.
I turned my
Yeah.
phone off and went,
Try being in a meeting where everybody's
This-
phone goes off.
Oh yeah.
This is a blue alert that the officer down, and it's got the guy's personalized license plate that they're looking for
Oh, okay.
in Newton County here in Mississippi.
Hmm.
I've
They
never
need to
seen
do
a
that
blue
down
alert.
here in South Florida.
You mentioned Bruiser Brody a while ago. Have you ever seen him wrestle in person?
Yes.
That's
Oh,
my first main event ever attended in person was Bruiser Brody versus Kamala.
Bruiser Brody,
Mm.
and Bruiser Brody was a treat to go see.
Yeah.
yeah, well,
Oh.
I can imagine.
I mean, I saw Kerry Von Erich and Bruiser Brody versus Hayes and Gordy for the American
Oh, for
Tag
the
Team
American
titles
titles,
at Reunion Arena. But when they tell the story of the Undertaker, a young Undertaker being Texas Red,
Oh yeah,
And-
I've heard that story.
and Percy Pringle took him to the ring,
Yep.
and he got the snot beat out of him by Bruiser Brody. I was there
Yeah.
that night,
Oh, were you?
and the only
I
reason I,
love hearing that
remember it,
story.
and the only reason I remember it is because of being a treat to get to go see Bruiser Brody. I saw Bruiser Brody and Abdullah the Butcher, Jeep Swenson.
Yep.
I mean, just
I do, Ralph.
whenever Brody came to town, it was a treat.
Yeah.
And you never knew which way he was going to go.
No.
Because
No.
he could turn at the drop of a hat. That's just how he was. That's his character, and that's how he lived.
And you weren't safe in the bleachers either.
No.
Hmm.
His wife
it-
Barbara is so nice.
Yeah.
She's a very nice lady, and I talk to her now and then. I'm going to see her in Charlotte again, and she's just the nicest person you can meet. Karen McDaniel too. Just two of the nicest people you'll ever meet.
I never
You
saw
guys
Bruiser
think-
Brody work heel. He was always a face when he came to
Right.
at that stage.
Yeah. I saw him wrestle heel in Georgia. He was a heel in Georgia.
Yeah, I saw something the other day kind of bothered me about Kamala. He died. Was the past year? Did Kamala pass away?
Yeah, last couple of years.
Last couple of years.
He still does not have a headstone at his grave.
Oh,
No,
that's-
he doesn't.
Yeah, that's so
Uh,
sad.
There is and I talked about this last week. There's a video channel on YouTube called Days with Jordan the Lion. And it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, he posted a video at that cemetery. And no, he doesn't have a headstone.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's,
wow.
that's sad.
He had to have help finding the grave.
I mean, what
That's
was he? A
sad.
double amputee, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Diabetes.
Hey, when we were in, this was actually the first time that I met you in person, Russ. When we were in at Wrestle Reunion in Tampa in 2005, Kamala was there,
Yep.
and I don't know what Hacksaw Duggan did that pissed everybody off so bad. But when Hacksaw Duggan and Kamala had their match, the crowd started chanting "Uganda, Uganda, Uganda," and Kamala just stopped and looked at the crowd and started laughing. He completely lost it.
Oh, no.
But I saw
We
him
had
and Kevin,
We had
But I
a few
saw
beers
him-
that night. I don't remember.
and then I saw him and Kevin Von Erich get together, and Kevin went and sat down with him, and I know Kevin called him Sugar Bear. And
Sugar Bear Harris.
and they just had they were genuinely glad to see each other, and it was pretty neat.
I thought he died, but apparently he's vice president now.
Wow.
He do a damn better job.
Wah. See, I'm not telling the jokes anymore.
Sorry.
Jesus.
The first time I ever heard Kamala Harris, that's who I thought of.
Yeah, me too.
I think all of us did.
All of
Yeah.
us, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you
Coming
this.
out to the ring.
The show that Dave was talking about, Wrestle Reunion 2005. Oh, there you go.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
The show that we went
Wow.
to
cool.
the first time him and I met in person. The show was like, I mean, the autograph part was very unorganized. It was one of the first things, like really big, and it was just a cluster. The tables were like in a big square around the room.
Oh, it
And
was
you walked around. It was miserable, but all the talent was very nice. As far as the only one that was kind of was Luger at that time, because Luger was still jacked and he was a different guy. He was drunk. He was a drunk.
Yeah.
He got busted when he left. He signed that morning and he left, and driving back home to Ackworth, Georgia, up I-575, he got pulled over and busted for
me too, Ralph.
Yeah, drinking on the plane.
Now I worked out a pretty sweet deal. I worked out a pretty sweet deal at Wrestle Reunion. 'Cause this guy came up to me. I had my Texas belt that Milliken had made me. It was my first, and this guy goes, "I want that belt," and I said, "It's not for sale." He goes, "But I want it," and I said, "But it's not for sale." I said, "There's Dave Milliken right there. Just go over and buy one from him. He'll have it to you." It didn't take long to get belts back then. And he goes, "I don't want to wait. I want yours. I don't want to wait. I want it." And I said, "But you can't have it." And
I love this belt.
and I said, because let me tell you something. I love this belt, and you can buy love, but you can't buy it cheap.
I was right there.
Oh, yes,
let
you
me-
can. I've seen people do it.
But let me give you a reference. That belt was $1,050 brand new.
Oh, wow.
So he kept on, and I looked at Dave and I said, "Is that because it was at the Midwest table?" And I was like, "Is it cool if I sell this to him? Because I'm gonna hit him with a price." And Dave said, "Go for the gusto." So I said $2,300. He said, "I'll be right back." And he come back and he started pilling out 100s.
Yep.
And I'm like, "Oh." So
Damn.
immediately I turned to Milliken and pay him for the one he's going to replace it with.
Yep.
And I still have that belt. I still have that belt today. And but then I went over and I made a deal with the photographer, and he was going and getting everybody at the convention to come over and take a picture with me. So they take a picture with me, and then they autographed the picture when it came out. I spent so much money with that photographer that he was putting together photo ops. And I've got a picture with Mick Foley, Terry Funk, Harley Race, Kevin Von Erich, and Jack Briscoe.
Yep.
Oh man.
And I'm standing in the middle of them.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a fun show.
And
man.
the camera broke. So I stood there for about 10 minutes just listening to him talk.
Yep.
Because Terry Funk turned and looked at Kevin Von Erich and said, your daddy's the reason I was NWA champion. He was the deciding vote. He believed in me. And I'll never forget what your dad did for me.
Wow.
He came back over to the table after that, like a 6-year-old at Christmas. Just
That would be awesome, man. Just to sit
Great.
there and just listen to the stories. You know
Oh,
what
yeah.
I mean?
So I didn't have to wait in any lines. I had them all at the photo booth.
Yep.
Wow.
Everybody.
Well, that same guy that bought his Texas belt. You remember the first belt he bought?
No.
He came up to me and wanted my UWF belt.
Yeah. I
And
remember.
I turned to Dave and I go, this guy's trying to buy from me. And as soon as I said that, the guy leans in and starts talking to me. Ashvin and everybody, Ray and all these guys just lean in. They want to watch me sell a belt. And I'm like, oh, and so I sold it. I think I quoted some stupid price too, and that's why Dave did it. Hey, if you're going to go for it.
I was trying to run him off. I didn't want to sell it.
I didn't want to sell mine either. And then I looked at Milliken, and Milliken just nodded at me, and I went, all right, 2,100 or whatever I told him. I don't remember what it was now. And the guy, like Dave, be right back.
When he sobered up and saw how much money he spent.
Jesus, he spent over $4,000 with the two of us.
Oh man.
Wow.
Wow.
Yep, and that was how long? Almost 20 years ago now, almost 17
2005.
years. Yeah.
Wow.
And that guy just whipped out money. That was the night that that same show, Dwayne walked into the hotel and ended up with some hooker in his room somehow. And then,
I shared a room with the weirdest guy. He was kind of eccentric, but he had all these belts and he brought them. I mean, like
every belt,
like
all Milliken made.
maybe 40
Oh
of
my
them.
God.
So I shared a room with him so I could see the belts. And man, it was something. I think Russ and a couple guys gave me a United States belt, and it was like on vinyl, not leather. It was a crappy little belt, but it was neat because nobody had them at that time.
Right.
Yeah.
And it meant a lot that they thought of that. But Sabu saw it and popped for it because it was like the Sheik's belt. And he was talking, and Dwayne was walking with me, and Dwayne started correcting him.
Oh, Jesus.
And Sabu said, "Oh, he's trying to school me," and they walked off. And I'm like, "You asshole! I'm having a moment here." This is before Sabu was a dick to me. This was this was the first time I'd met him, and it was kind of cool. And we weren't used to being around those wrestlers, so Wrestle Reunion was the first of its kind.
Yeah, one of them. Yeah,
one of the very first, and everybody was it was neat. And all these people that met on the internet finally had joined together to meet in person. And it was like we all knew each other.
That's on our bucket list. That's on me and Mark's bucket list.
What's that?
To get together one day, actually in
Yeah.
person.
Charlotte, North Carolina, the gathering, August 3rd through the 7th. Come on down, Jack.
I was going to say earlier, the only person in this hobby I've met in person is Lane, who was on the show earlier. And we're about to end the show, but Dave, I want you to stick around after the show because I want to tell you the story, and then I'll send you a link to the video.
Okay.
So we're going to wrap this up. I want to thank Dave Miller for being with us tonight. Been a pleasure. Russ, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. I just want to say
Great
you
having
guys.
you on the show, Dave.
stay on for a while.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on.
I want to thank
Russ,
each
as
and every one of you.
always.
We love you guys for watching the show. We love our loyal fans, our viewers.
Sure do.
Yes.
We
Thank you.
truly do span the globe. We got fans all over the world, so we
Mhm.
really appreciate that. So tune in next week. We'll see what we come up for you with. So
Everybody.
I've
Take
had
care,
a blast.
guys.
I can't
Talk to you
thank you
soon.
enough for
Dave,
having
love
me.
you, brother.
Stay on, guys. We'll talk
I'm
after the
heading
show.
out. I gotta
Hey,
go to
and
bed. I gotta be up early.
And
Okay, all right.
if anybody comes to Starcast, come up and say hi to me.
All right, Russ. Have
Yeah.
a good night, man.
All right, guys. Take care.
Have a good night, everybody.
Hey, if you meet Dave, he's the little guy. It's like this,